Now that the studio is painted and I have that one light fixture installed, I can finally set up my desk. This desk is at least as old as I am. I remember as a kid playing pool on Windows 95 and sitting at this desk, and my family's had it ever since, and then a couple years ago I stole it and made it into my studio desk. So the best way I can describe this desk is cobbled together, at least the parts that I added to it. When I finally got real studio monitors, I made a hutch for the desk so I could put the monitors and my computer monitors, and then I added some rack mounts on it so I could put my interface on there and other little junk on it. But as far as the construction of the hutch, it's really poorly made, and I made it really quick. I kind of slapped it together just to see if it would work, because I knew down the road I would make an actual studio desk, and for the time being I just needed something to hold the stuff that I had, and this is what I made. So I'll talk a little bit more about the features of this desk once I get it set up, so let me finish setting it up. Okay, so what you're seeing right now is me setting up these cables basically how they were at my old spot. When I set up this desk at the old house, I didn't have all this gear at once, so basically I would buy stuff as I could afford it or as I needed it. So all the stuff wasn't here, so all the cables kind of just found their own little paths, and I did try to route the cables the best that I could. I used these little brass hooks to help a little bit. Also, I used a lot of twist ties and some Velcro. But at the end of the day, it just looked really bad, and really it looked like this. So after seeing this rat's nest of cables, I decided I would try to make this a little bit better. First, I cut out a piece of plywood for the back of the hutch. You can see how open the hutch is in this shot. So whenever you sit at the desk, you can see through the back of the hutch and see all the cables going everywhere. So I cut out this little backer piece just to hide the cables a little bit better. And then I seriously ordered 1,000 of these cable clips. I also ordered some zip tie holders, so those help out where I can't nail these clips into. And even with the cable clips and the zip tie holders, there are a lot of cables behind this desk, and a lot of them are super long, longer than they need to be, so that's kind of annoying. But it just looks really busy back here. I mean, it looks a whole lot better than it was before, but still, it's a lot of cables in a relatively small desk. But from the front, you can't even see a single cable. Now, before I finish talking about the desk, I want to give a big thanks to Aukey for sending me some of their products for the studio. So for the desk, I got a 10-port USB hub, which is ridiculous, but in a good way. I'm always charging my phone and my iPad whenever I sit at this desk, but also I need to plug in my cameras to get the footage off of them. So before I had a little 3-port USB hub, which I thought that was big, but this 10-port USB hub is plenty big, so I don't think I'll ever run out of USB ports. Also for the desk, I got this LED lamp, which I'm actually the most excited about. It's just the lamp, but just the way it looks, and the buttons, you just touch it and it works, which is super cool. And I guess if I ever run out of USB ports, I can plug my phone into the back of this lamp and charge it. I plan to make this cabinet my camera storage area, so I wanted a place where I can plug in my batteries and charge my GoPros, which take USB. So this power strip is going to work perfectly for this because I can plug in my battery chargers and then plug in my GoPros right into the USB ports to charge them. And then I thought it would be cool to have lights either underneath the cabinet or even inside of the cabinet, so that's why I got this LED strip so I can put lights either underneath or inside of the cabinets. I don't know yet, so if you have a suggestion, feel free to let me know. But this video is about the desk, so I'm not going to set up the camera zone just yet, but if you think I should make a video about it, just let me know. And last, they sent this other lamp by accident actually, but it doesn't really fit my style, so I'm going to give it away. So if you want this lamp, just leave a comment and I'll pick a winner. But the lamp is still cool because you can change the color and the brightness and all that kind of stuff. So again, if you want this lamp, leave a comment and I'll pick a winner. Now back to the desk. Like I said, it's pretty cobbled together, so I do plan to build a new desk in the future. So this is just my temporary setup until I actually do that. I still need to set up my workshop and make sure this is exactly where I want the desk to be. But for now, like I said, this is my temporary setup. First, I'll talk about the Hutch. Now, the main reason I made it was to get the monitors up off of the desktop so that way they'd be at ear level. If we go back to the old studio, you'll see that the monitors are on the Hutch, but now they're on stands. And the reason for that, if you couldn't tell, is I'm using two bigger screens right now. The older screens I was using were a little bit too small and it was hard for me to see the screen if I sat back. So I decided to use these two screens for now. And I know everyone's OCD is kicking in like, oh Dave, those aren't the same screens, what are you doing? I can't look at that. One of these is an actual computer screen and the other one is a TV. So right now I'm kind of just seeing which one I like better, and the one that I choose, I'll buy the same one, so that way I'll have two of the same screens. Real quick, I'll talk about my rack gear. So on the right side, of course, I have a power conditioner, and below that is my interface. It's an M Audio Profire 2626, and of course I use that to record my drums, any voiceovers for my videos like I am right now, or anything else that I need to record. And below the interface is my preamp. It's a Pro MPA II. It's a 2-channel preamp, so my overheads run through it, and also whenever I record voiceovers I use it as well. And then if we scoot over to the left, I have another power conditioner, and actually have another one that's the same as the one on the right side of the desk, but I've been meaning to switch it out and I've been forgetting about it, and I realized that now probably would have been a good time to do it, setting up this desk and running all the cables, but I kind of forgot until now, so it'll happen eventually. And below that is a little shelf that I keep my USB hub on, my card reader, and I have a little organizer for my SD cards that I keep on there, but I just haven't really set it up yet. And probably my favorite feature of this Hutch is the fact that all the rack gear is floating. When I first made the Hutch, the center support went all the way to the desktop, which meant that my MIDI controller stuck out farther, and that meant that my keyboard also had to stick out farther, and basically I had no room to do anything. So that got really annoying really quick, so I decided to cut that piece so that I could slide my MIDI controller underneath of the rack gear and have more desk space. And of course, when I need to use it, I can just slide it right out. And the second thing that I added to this desk, which I decided to make look halfway decent, is this record player drawer. So I like to make beats by sampling vinyl, and having a record player on the desk was just out of the question because it's just so big and bulky. So I bought this little portable record player and I put it in this drawer, I put a mixer in, and I've loved it ever since. And this is definitely my favorite feature of this desk. So that is the studio desk. I've talked about it before a little bit in the past, but I still get questions about it all the time, so I thought I'd make this video kind of just explaining it and what I've done to it. But like I said, I am going to make a new desk that fits the space a little bit better, because right now this is, it works, but it just doesn't really fit that well. So again, I plan to make a new desk. And this thing is kind of just sitting here right now. I'm probably going to take it out because it doesn't really fit here that well. Mainly because the stand, or the base for the stand of the monitors are in the way because it's like a weird triangle shape. And you probably didn't realize this until now, but the desk is scooted all the way to the left, which is actually really bad as far as sound goes, because bass likes to accumulate in the corners, so you get a really false sense of how your mix sounds. So The reason it's like that now is that door over there actually. So the door opens in and you can see where the light switch is. So basically all that space is unusable because of the door. So my plan was to reverse the door so that it opens the other way. And then ideally I'd move that light switch to this wall just because it feels more natural when you walk in to flip it on right here. But instead I'm just gonna ignore this door and pretend it's not even here and just use this door. So there's a door on the other side of this wall that leads into a utility room, which leads into here. So I think I'll just go through that extra door and come in this way. But I'm gonna wait to scoot the desk over because I'm gonna have to move it when I put up the sound treatment for this room. So I'll do it when I do that video, so you'll have to wait till then to see it. So that is one more thing that I can check off the to-do list for the studio. Setting up this desk was probably one of the more important things just because that's where I edit my videos. So without that desk, without that computer, I can't post videos, which means you can't watch them. So I'm definitely glad that I got that done. As I mentioned a minute ago, I'm going to treat this room, so I think that's what my next video will be, so stay tuned for that.